It is very, very fortunate and auspicious that we are celebrating the Diwali in Greece, especially in Delphi. It has a very ancient history, and as you know, Athena resided here. She was the primordial mother. Atha in Sanskrit means primordial. So, this place has been described, even the Puranas, as Manipur. Manipur is the Navi. Also in Sanskrit, Manipur means the Navi Chakra. So described as the Manipur Dweep is written Manipur Rehe Dweepe. Just imagine these Puranas, these ancient time books. God knows how old they are. Must be at least 8,000 or maybe more. And they have described Greece as the Manipur Dweep, is the place of Navi. And where resides the Adishakti? That's the Athena. So, how it was known to them, maybe through torsion area, I can say, but is written very clearly. And same we find here is the place of Athena, which is in the Navi. Also, Athena is the primordial mother. They say, expressed herself first in the sea on the Navi. It's said. From there, she did all her work. Now we can say that in her movement, when she came down as existence, she created Sri Ganesha, and then she went to the right side and created Mahasaraswati. We can say the whole universe, all creations she created. And then she came down and settled as Kundalini, but coming down she created Mahalakshmi, principle which is for our ascent. This was her movement. But it is said that she incarnated in the Navi, because maybe after doing all this, she incarnated in the Navi. And also we see that Ganesha's Kundalini is in the Navi. She incarnated in the Navi, they say, because the first pure knowledge, pure desire of a person or animal or anybody is hunger. That is in the Navi. And this hunger she wanted to satisfy or to direct or to handle. And that might be the reason she might have first come to the Navi. Now, this primordial mother that we have as Athena also has in her hand a Kundalini. Also, she has one trident. All this is sign that when she was born, she knew that she has to fight the evil forces in the Navi Chakra. All this history is really shown very clearly in the Greek mythology. But later on, this mythology took a very, very wrong path through human beings, as they know how to spoil everything. So what they did is to make all the gods and goddesses look like human beings. And so we have here many gods which are in India. They are represented even in the Greek mythology. But the Indian gods are kept very pure and really godly and saintly. But here it was brought down to the level of human beings. And so many gods who were there were shown to be little different from Indian gods because they made it human. It's very surprising how it was deviated gradually from one to another. Even in India, it's done, but it doesn't stay because we have Puranas. So every time people try to ruin it and spoil it, it goes back to the normal state because we have Puranas. But Puranas are not worshipped like Bible or like Quran or like any other such religious book, but they are just relating the history of the ancient times. And one has to just see it that it is intelligible, this can be explained, people can know about it. But the way they have described about Manipur Dweep was very much really great, and even at the time of Alexander, Greece was a very prosperous, extremely beautiful state. Because it is described by Chandabardai, one of the poets who came with him here, and he described into all details what things are. And he has also described that this is a temple of the primordial mother very clearly of the Adishakti. And there is the Ganesha is also sitting there. He has described it in all details. Also the steps going to the temple are 3.5, he says. 3 are big ones and the last one is just half one. And if you extend them to the whole world, it can make a 3.5 coils. Also very clearly it said that there are Swambhu of Sri Ganesha, and also about Oracle of Delphi they say that in the Nabhi Chakra the gods speak. All this is described in India much before Alexander came to India. And from that we can understand that there might have been much more rapport, maybe many people were going abroad or maybe coming here, or maybe from the Torsion area all the Puranas were written down. So it's absolutely an ancient place we are in, which is truthful in its description and everything, no doubt. But later on the deterioration came to place. Also here there's question of Kundalini was there, and the chakras were painted also. But when Christianity came, they said it's all bogus, forget it. And they didn't want to see to the other side. And that is how it became just a kind of a history also that was not so clean and clear. The faith in Athena subsided. Faith in all the gods and goddesses also subsided. And it started becoming this, actually you can say it was disappearing nicely. This was the situation of this Greece. Now again we are back. In the Manipura Dweepa we are sitting down nicely and for Lakshmi Puja, which is in the Nabhi. Lakshmi came out of water, no doubt. But Athena is the mother of Lakshmi. She is the one who is all-pervading, and she created Lakshmi. And this Lakshmi is the one that ruled here, and she was very much manifesting. And she created beautiful things because they were very rich people, Greeks were. Very rich, they were indulging in all kinds of things, especially in business, then in shipping. Shipping is there one of the most important business, and I came with my husband here because he was a shipping man. And I was surprised that at the airport we had the minister's wife, another minister's wife, prime minister's wife, I was surprised. Normally they never go to receive any lady, Mrs. who comes. No, they said, you see what happened? That our husbands told us, if you really want to see a lady who is absolutely immaculately feminine and very auspicious and very serene, then it is Mrs. Srivastava. So they came to see. Imagine the idea of serenity doesn't exist now for women in the world. But these ladies came to see me that, who is this serene lady who has me? And they looked after me very well. And then afterward there was an election coming also. But I don't forget the way they told me. I'm very respectful. They said, how did you develop this serenity? I didn't develop. It was just existing. I didn't do anything to look serene or in any way. Work it out. There's no beauty parlor for that. But it is something innate in me. What if you think it was serenity? She said, no, all the men praised about you. That she is a person who is, even in these horrible days, is extremely serene. Now Diwali is very significant because today is the darkest day, darkest night and longest night. And to end it up, they put lights. Now in the atmosphere it's all very dark, black. The sun is gone. So they put on all these lights. In the same way it is Kali Yuga. Now Kali Yuga you can consider as one day. It's very dark, horrible. It has lots of problems. It's made our lives miserable and we don't know how to move in life. At this moment, what is necessary is to enlighten people. Kali Yuga at its worst now. The kind of things people are doing even in the name of God is shocking. But that is Kali Yuga, where we have lost all sense of direction. We don't know which way we are going. All kinds of wrong things we are doing and we think it's all right, after all, what's wrong in it? Everything you tell them, what's wrong? You tell them don't do it, they'll say, what's wrong? And that's how every human being has become very individualistic. In a way he is not. Because they follow a fashion, they follow a style. I mean, they are not, they are slavish. But they believe they are very independent, they are free people, they can do whatever they like. As a result of this freedom in this Kali Yuga, or the idea of freedom, what has happened with them is that they have become extremely ugly. The kind of things they are doing in Kali Yuga is unbelievable. Even when they are priests, they are in the churches, this thing, that thing, they become so horribly immoral that cannot believe how can that be. In the name of God, under the roof of God. But it has started, that is Kali Yuga. And this Kali Yuga has to be finished. So what do we do to remove the darkness of the night? Is to put lights. In the same way, people should be enlightened. There should be light in the heart of people. Once they are enlightened, this darkness from which we are suffering because of our ignorance will be finished and we'll have the absolute knowledge. So this is a new age that they are talking about is here, right now here, that it is going to work out in such a manner that it will be all enlightened personalities together and they'll know what is light is, what is real knowledge, jnana is. So ours is a path of knowledge, knowledge that is love, knowledge that is compassion. This is what we have to understand, that we have come into another arena where all the skirmishes and the troubles of Kali Yuga cannot enter. It's raining outside, nothing inside. It's like that we are now not only free, But whatever we do is nothing but freedom, where we are not attached to anything that can debase us, make us lose grip over truth. When such a personality is brought in, then what happens? That all these ideas of Kali Yuga will disappear. But I must say, it's a last judgment at the same time. Those who accept the truth and reside in truth and grow in truth will remain, all other will be perished. He said already. Like you see a garden in which there are some trees who are nourished well, who get lot of water and love, and who give also so much to people, they exist. The others are burnt out and finished. In the same way, you have to first accept the love, take the love, nourish yourself with that love, and then you give to others. This is a simple way you can overcome the Kali Yuga's curses. Kali Yuga is so much full of darkness that we start hating each other. For example, you are all sitting here, suddenly it becomes dark. You won't know how to move, whether you are hitting others or not. With whom are you sitting? Nothing. In the same. With the darkness in the heart, darkness in the mind, that you don't know where are you, what are you doing, and what you should be doing. Just like going amok, you go on hating each other. This is what is Kali Yuga, and the one who recognizes it and gets out of it is the surgeon. Otherwise, you are just like other people if you are still indulging into the same periphery, in the same circles of imbalance. Now, another thing with Kali Yuga is this, that even if you are hit or even if you are destroyed, they just don't blame themselves. This is another horrible temperament one develops, that you blame others, never yourself. That it is your mistake that you hit yourself. It was you did wrong, and that's what it is. This is what we call is the illusion, is the Brahma. And this illusion has to go away. And for Kali Yuga it is said, this is the era of illusions, and this illusion, if you fall into it, you are finished. But if you see the illusions, then you try to seek the truth. That's why today the seeking is very strong, because they can feel it's an illusion. It's not the truth, they know. And once they know it is not the truth, what do? They want to know what is the truth. Where is the truth? And they try to find it. That's how also in this Kali Yuga the seeking has started. The story about Kali Yuga is told in also another Purana, Damayanti Purana, where Damayanti, the wife of Nala, was separated from him because of the same illusions created by Kali. So one day it happened that Nala got hold of this horrible Kali, and he said, now I am going to strangle you and finish you. So Kali said, all right, you can do it, but first listen to my importance, my Mahatmya, what importance I have, why I am there. So he waited. He said, now agree, if you listen to me, I'll tell you. When I will come and I will rule the world, means when there will be Kali Yuga, people will get into Bhranti, means illusions. They will not know whether this is the truth or not, and they will then try to seek the truth. But not only the people, those who go to the jungles and those who renounce everything, but there will be another type. The same people who are doing this kind of seeking will, in the Kali Yuga, will take birth and will be normal householders. And they'll get into these illusions of every kind. And at that time when they get into this illusion, then only they will start seeking, realizing that it is untruth, and they will seek the truth at that time. At that time only they will get their self-realization. He told very clearly, thousands of years back. So, Kali Yuga is the time where people can get their self-realization. They will know their self, they will know the truth. This is said long time back, and you can see now it's happened. So this was the time meant for that. Because if you are alright, like in Satya Yuga and all that, so you don't seek. You just accept, you are obedient, you are good people. But in Kali Yuga, you really start seeking the absolute truth. And that is why these lights depict that character, or we can say that soul which are being enlightened. So you are all enlightened souls. For me, that's the Diwali. If the people are enlightened, that's the Diwali, that they remove all the darkness of Kali Yuga and you all enjoy the beauty and joy of Kali Yuga. It's very, very symbolic, I should say, that Diwali has already started. We have many lights and we have to get more lights. Not because it is short of light. Why are we taking more lights? Why do we want? Because all must be saved. Our effort is to save every one of them. Very difficult. It's very difficult. But you can see now how, like seeds, realized souls go and plant themselves in very far-fetched places, and there they prosper, become very beautiful trees, fragrant, and which are giving shade to others. That's why you see people from all sorts of places are being awakened, and they become realized souls, and they awaken others. It's all the process is so well built in, it looks like that, and it's working out well. The only thing which is doubtful is how many will come to search and how many we can salvage and save. This is the only problem. And for that, we should be prepared that every one of you should decide that I am going to save at least one soul every day. One person every day. Supposing we have some people who are getting drowned, say in a river or in a sea. What do? You all rush together to save. You go all out to save his life. In the same way, we have to understand, we have to send lives of all the people. And for that, we have to work very hard. Now, in this rising from illusion to truth, also, we have certain problems which must be faced in a proper way. One of the problems that arises out of it, as I said, is the hunger. Hunger could be for money, could be for food, could be for anything. Now, if there is a hunger for money, is going to settle you permanently, because it is never satiable. You can never satisfy it. But in the modern times, people are just going mad, I tell you, real mad for money. They do not care whether others have it or not, others have this convenience or not, but just like to show off, they want to show off. They are very rich, they are very good, and do all kinds of things with all their ego. They think nothing wrong, what's wrong, what's wrong. This is one of the biggest hurdles to have, is that your mind, which is ego, dictates, and you try to do it without even verifying what is this? What is that? So the mind is under Bhranti, illusion. And then you have many ways to understand. So I have said that in Sahaja Yoga, if they want, they should get their realization, and also they can go about with their shoes anywhere they feel like. Especially on the day they get realization. It has worked wonders, because that day you are in a stronger mood and you avoid all wrong things. Now, so many of you have grown up in Sahaja Yoga and are transformed completely. So very happy to see that. I have not done much, I don't think. I have just enlightened in a way that's very far-fetched. Because I don't do anything. Without doing anything, if you get enlightened, and if you say you have done it, I can't believe it. How can that be? I didn't do anything, just you got your realization. But now when I see, when I reflect and find how beautifully you people sing, how beautifully you have become sweet, and how beautifully you have become friendly to each other, I am now convinced. And I feel this won't take much time for you to establish Sahaja Yoga. It is very high time that we should understand that we have to expose ourselves to Sahaja Yoga much more often than otherwise. And this, you see, the other problems are there also. Like they have some problems. They are saying, Mother, there should be some written laws. I said, no. It is through your experience also you can. For example, the other day I said that is a Lakshmi principle. Now let us see how the Lakshmi principle goes out. Very simple, very easy. If you want to know, it's very simple. Because this Lakshmi is very volatile, chanchal. Once you give 100 rupees to your servant, immediately he'll go to the pub and drink. The Lakshmi is there. As soon as you give the Lakshmi, he tries to go and drink in a pub. So you can imagine what is the situation is with this Lakshmi. She is very good, but also she tempts. She tempts you. So, you see, you have to watch. Whatever money you have, you should put in the bank or do whatever you like. But just don't spend the whole lot. Just don't do it. Secondly, you must know also, if all the doors are closed and you get Lakshmi from one door, she'll stay, no doubt. She'll stay. If you are miserly, she'll stay. But she will rot because she has no outlet. So if you open the other door, you'll be amazed that not only this Lakshmi can go out, but also can get much more air, much more freedom from outside, because you have opened the other door. With one door, you just experiment. Nothing comes in. You open one door, no air will come, nothing will come. But you open the second door, then you will find that there is gushing of currents inside them. In the same way, a person who wants to have money should first learn to spend whatever money he has. And in this Kali Yuga, this is one of the blessings, because the job of Kali Yuga is to create doubts, to create illusions, Brahma. So it will go on creating. But if you stick on to the truth, there won't work. It won't work. So it is important to understand that all the time we are under testing ground. It is a thing just to be witnessed. It's very interesting to see how this Lakshmi wants to run away from the house of a man who is only interested in cheating, interested in grabbing, in telling lies. So this Lakshmi doesn't stay with you. She goes away. All these things are happening around us. I am not saying this offhand. It's all there, all of us. You see, it's to see, we have to clearly see the movement of your mind. Where is it going? Where is it thinking? Lakshmi is the one, she makes you think about some things which you should not think. As I told you, people will start drinking, they'll go to the graces, they'll drink a lot. I mean, they'll do everything. Why? Because they have money now, they must spend somewhere. But they will put it into things which has no investment in the real good, in the real achievement. And that's how we have now people who are spending so much money, so much, on wasteful things. So wastefulness can never achieve the goal that is yours, and the goal that is yours is the fulfillment of your being, to become the spirit. It's very, very subtle to understand. You think you are doing nothing wrong, what's that? After all, why you are doing something wrong or something serious? The body should react. No. Nothing will react, neither your mind nor your body. You see, all these years, my experience has been very simple. That there are some Sahajogis still involved in the Lakshmi principle. Like, they want to cheat me, they want to make money out of Sahajoga. Then there are some people who want to do business among us. All of them have failed very badly. Failed so badly that they are like bankrupts or they are in jail and all kinds of things. So, never do business with a Sahajogi. For Sahajogi it is very important not to do any business with the Sahajogis. If you understand this same principle, you will not do business with Sahajogi. Of course you can't do business with me also. So, this is a very, very simple thing in which people start doing. For example, they meet two Sahajogis, one from, say, from Japan and another from, say, America. And they start saying, oh, you are a Sahajogi, I am also a Sahajogi. Can you give me some false paper, or you can give me some report? They go on asking you questions. Papa, we don't want to do that. They are not interested in you, they are interested in what you have. And this is something one has to learn very cleverly and intelligently when people start communicating to you about the business. In Sahajoga there is no business among themselves except they have business with self-realization. If you understand this point small, the money part of it, which is quite elusive, will disappear. It all works out beautifully if you are surrendered. But otherwise also it can be worked out. Even if you are not surrendered, because you see the result and you are hurt, you are troubled, and so you give it up. So whatever happens, it's our watching system, I should say one of the chakras. Here you can see clearly. you're watching. Clearly you see how much you have gone into trouble. So you give it up. But before doing that, we have a very good way of seeing through our vibrations. You just feel the vibrations and see for yourself if the vibrations are good, well and good. If they are not all right, then you should know that there's something wrong. You can judge any human being you like. You can judge any pastor, or if you want to see any one of these millionaires and all those things. But first you must find out that one, is he a perfect Sahaja-yogi or not? This happens within individuals. But it can happen in the collective also. I have seen in the collective people are so much misled, and one negative person immediately knows who is the other negative. And then he gets hold of that negative and they start working too. So, extremely cautious that you have got your realization. You've got everything. You've got also a lot of money inside your hand. With all that, you should know it's a very, very good sign for thieves to walk on. So you should be very careful and don't get charmed by all these nonsensical things. That's what is the protection from your mother. That she wants to protect you in this way. Our whole attitude towards life has to be that of a witness. You see everything clearly. Gradually, this seeing will become so very sharp, so clear, so understanding that you will be amazed. Then you will be using something, anything you are using. Then you don't have to think, only you have to know the vibrations. What are the vibrations are, what do the vibrations say, because they are there to guide you. Those who are not yet very good at vibrations should try to establish them. If you are not good at vibrations, that means you will not judge people rightly, nor will I have knowledge. So first you must get all your vibrations corrected and also chakras corrected. After that, you can see what are your associates, who are there. See, actually, your mind now is so enlightened that you can straightforward see everything before you. But if you don't use that enlightened mind, you will be amazed there are some forces of negativity. And once these two forces start, see, actually, I should say we are at a juncture now that these things won't happen anymore. But I started Sahaja-yoga, it was very bad. Very bad situation. And we had half-baked, quarter-baked, 1/16th baked people. And I just didn't know how to tell them, because if I tell them anything, they would just run away. They would not come to Sahaja. While in the other places like gurus, what they do, they take money and bas, that's all. Now people think, now we have given money to the guru, how can we leave? They go on giving money and sticking on. But in Sahaja-yoga, there's no money involved. So they come, then they disappear. Very common, it's very, very common that they come for a short time to Sahaja-yoga. But if they are really special people, they just stick and start seeing everything from the right angle, because they are enlightened, they have grown up, then mature. So this is how we are to combat this horrible night of Kali Yuga through Diwali. This is what we have to do, to be humble and to find whether you are all right or not, whether you are going in the right direction or not. It is you only who can decide. With vibrations you can immediately know that you are catching, or you will know you are right. Whatever decision has to be taken, you have to use your hands fully. It's not talking that is going to. It's not giving lectures it is going to. No. It is through experimenting, through understanding, through the feelings or the deep, I should say the deep impact of everything that will communicate to you what sort of a people they are, what they are talking about, what we should do. This could be a little mental, but later on it becomes absolutely beyond a mental activity. Now, as it is, I said that Kali Yuga is over, is about to finish. But still there may be people who will try to go back to this kind of normalcy, so-called. But there is a way out for all this, is simple meditation. With meditation, you can achieve whatever is to be achieved. And then you will be surprised that we have a very, very important thing to do. And the most important thing is to be watchful about yourself, that I hope you are not falling into the trap of Lakshmi. The same Lakshmi that decorates you can also disfigure. So we have to do everything to keep this beautiful Lakshmi, this decorated Lakshmi, as our ideal, and it works out. Our aim is this, our ideal is this, and we have to do this so we can establish the new government, very beautiful government. Our whole attitude should be such that we have to be alert, because we become meditative. As soon as you start thinking about something, you will become meditative. Your thinking will go. You won't be able to think. And then you can be lost. But no. When you are meditative, then you cannot be lost. Why? Because then you have given your life in the hands of truth. You have given your hand into the hand of reality. And that guides you, that takes you. They watch it, that watches, that helps. You can never go wrong. Even if you are meditative, don't you worry, nothing will happen. But if you are never meditative, then it's impossible to say. It's impossible to save, it's impossible to mature. You have to be very meditative to mature. That's very important. I would say that all the Sahajas here today are doing this puja, and then there will be also another puja of enlightenment, I can call whatever it is. But you have to be very, very careful not to denounce your meditative. No. What you can do is to watch how far you have gone, how far you have solved your problems. As soon as you see that, immediately you become a complete realized soul. So the guideline is such that we should know that we are realized souls. And what is so important? Why are we realizing? Not only for our desires, for our pure desire, but also for others. And in that understanding that we are not only for ourselves, but for others, you become collectively conscious. And you start helping others. You stand very well. Otherwise, you are lost and others are also lost. This way is the way we have to really go ahead. Go ahead towards the truth and bring that truth for other people and save them. This is how you can express your love to them while you are caring. It is a subject which is very difficult to handle, I think, because of, I should say that to talk about this subject is much easier than to assimilate this within us. So now when you are listening to me, please try that you have to meditate afterwards. In meditation, you will assimilate, and the same power that you think is within you, of discrimination, of giving vibrations, of doing all kinds of things out of Sahaja Yoga, will be completely, continuously be active. But if you do not meditate, if you are somewhere else, it doesn't work out. It won't work out. So today is the day to celebrate and to be happy that we have so many Sahaja Yogis all over. There is hope for the whole world, and we can save all people who are lost in the wilderness. That's a fact, no doubt. But after that celebration and everything, we should sit on the, you can call it on the asana or anywhere, and watch what is happening. And you will be amazed that in meditation, you will be revealed with all the beauties you have achieved, all kinds of things that you have achieved, and all the worries and botherations of things disappear. This should happen to you all, and this is what I request you all to have this special capacity to understand yourself. My own hope is fulfilled. To see you sitting down here, I feel overjoyed. And same way you will also feel when you all will try to raise the Kundalini of others, establish them in Sahaja Yoga, to be amazed what will happen. It's so joyous to give realizations to others. For that you don't have to do anything, you don't have to pay anything, nothing of the kind. This power you have, which is awakened, that's all. What you have to do is to, wherever you go, you have to just awaken the Kundalini of the person, give realization. Nothing has to be done. And that's so joy-giving. You feel so happy about it. So today I bless you all with this special power that you give realization to people and look after the nabhi of the people, whatever it is. It's very, very important to understand how far you can go. We have to change the world. We have to save the world. It's your responsibility. You have got realization, not the others. So don't try to find faults with others. Think about you, that you have realization, and it is expected that you should spread Sahaja Yoga. Thank you very much. May God bless you. Today I am getting so meditative that I don't know. May God bless you.